parcels taking weeks to months to arrive, emails not being answered by Fanatec, and the Club Sport DD Plus not launching. So what the hell is happening at Fanatec right now? I've addressed this issue a couple of times, including asking directly the CEO of Fanatec, Thomas Jackermeyer, about it, but I think today it will be useful to have a video specifically directed at this situation. But before going there, Fanatec has sent plenty of equipment to me, including wheelbases to test and review, and I also have an affiliate link with them, so this is important context for you. A little bit of background. As you know, post-COVID, Fanatec didn't have supply, didn't have stock for the longest time in very important lines like the CSLDD. In my opinion, low-end or direct drives that are small form factors are some of the more important pieces of equipment that a company can stock because of the wide appeal and how much people can get into it with a lower cost. The lack of stock went up for over a year, almost 2 years, and then in the middle of 2023, Fanatec received a huge amount of stock, and this is where essentially all the issues started to appear and snowballing into a bigger one. Anyways, this issue is mostly centered in Europe, and after the summer, things didn't really get better, and I decided to ask Thomas Jackermeyer about this sim situation in Sim Racing Expo. The issue, according to Thomas and other communications they have sent, it was a change of warehouse that snowballed into other operational issues, stuff in the website that then exposed something that they didn't have correctly set up that created all of this situation. So essentially, it is a change of warehouse that didn't go as expected, that for you results in situations like the parcels taking weeks to months to get to you. Some of the parcels that will have multiple items inside are just half sent, and then you have to receive the items later. Some of the parcels are lost, and for me, the worst offender, because it's more transversal to everybody, is that the parcels don't get a tracking number automatically, or they're not given to you a tracking number. You have to go to a specific site to get the tracking number to register to a specific site. That really means that if you are not paying attention to it, or really you do not know about this information, it could be very well the case that you have received the parcel, but you wouldn't be none the wiser because the information that should be given to you is really not given to you on forefront, and then you will not know that it would arrive, and then it's sent back. Even with all of this, from my perception, the issue was getting better, or at least more manageable, until Black Friday, when Black Friday was way too successful. So whatever improvements they have made, at least in terms of response times and whatever, was basically sent back to whatever was before, and even worse. As expected, no information, and a torrent of new orders that don't have information creates another snowball of a situation where if you don't have any information, you go ask customer support about it, and customer support is already basically piled up with huge amount of requests, and those requests take even longer to process, and then the circle goes around. It went as bad as their email being full. So that means that any other issues that are not related to orders or information about orders, they also get slowed down, and stuff, very important stuff like RMAs, they take a long to respond. The latest big one coming from Fanatec piling up with all of these issues they've been having, it's not been a great last 6 months to them, is that the Club Sport DD Plus, the one that is compatible with PlayStation, doesn't have the Sony PlayStation certificate as of yet. So that means cannot be sent, cannot be sold yet or sent to you yet unless it's pre-order, and that means whoever done the pre-order has had their pretty penny stuck there. But truth be told, even if it wasn't stuck there and even if it was approved, it would take a long while to get to you because of all the situations with the warehouse. This last piece of news even got some primetime publicity coming from PC Gamer magazine, so it's now going mainstream in everything. I can understand why they have done the pre-orders for the Club Sport DD Plus. It's likely from experience, and I'm speculating here. They had past experience with the Fanatec CSL Elite and most recently with the DD Pro. And from that experience, they could reasonably expect a certain amount of time frame for the certification to be concluded and some promises maybe from Sony to be put forth. But this time it wasn't really like that. So in practical terms to you, that means the availability date moved from middle to December to now late February this year. All of these issues are not your fault, of course. It will be, of course, on Fanatec, even if some of these issues or most of these issues weren't really created by them, such as the warehouse or the certification. All of the fault will still rest on Fanatec. And I say this because one of the easiest ways to correct this is to have proper management of expectations, and that needs clear communication from them. I say this because Fanatec can control a few of the variables and can manage your expectations by telling you what is exactly going on. For example, on their site, it tells for some of the lines that are available that it will be sent within 4 and 7 days. This is really not the case as of this moment, so this information should be clearly, explicitly told to you. The other situation with the Club Sport DD Plus could be very easily resolved. Instead of saying now it is expected to be available on the 26th of February or whatever it says there, it needs to have either an asterisk, which you go over the asterisk and it tells you the situation, or tell you on the line below, we are waiting for third-party approvals, and this date might be moved towards the future. This is something very easy to add. This in turn would inform you with the correct information. You'll manage your expectations, and then not so many emails are sent requesting for information on the parcels that are be taking a little bit more than the 4 to 7 days, which again, it snowballs into another situation where not so many emails are coming in, and then other issues that are also priority, like parcels taking far longer than expected, or the RMAs can be resolved. A lot of buyers are understandably mad at Fanatec, and I've even seen some accusations of thievery or scamming, but I'm not really assuming that because that's really not it is. I'm assuming something far simpler called Hanlon's razor. So essentially not bad intentions, just having things not properly thought through. Thought through or not, this creates a bunch of issues for Fanatec because they don't have the communications set correctly, that even if they resolve the issue, depending how long it takes, it will create a problem from them that down the line, basically all good faith is essentially burned, all the bridges are burned, and no matter how they try to deal the situation, they could never recover in any reasonable form from that. All of that specter of not answering emails, RMAs not going through, the parcels taking weeks, it will haunt them for years. A good reputation takes years to build, but destroying one, it's exceedingly fast, but the remedy to it in Fanatec situation, even if the remedy is sour, the best way is still communication and being frontal to customers and consumers about this. You need to say your difficulties front and center, plaster them on your website, and tell the users what is going on. Saying the difficulties out loud in a website would be the best way to go through this. At least whoever comes in understands what's going on. So in my opinion, if you're thinking of buying Fanatec in Europe, you should keep in mind that your parcels may take weeks or months to arrive. Were I in your shoes, I would wait a couple more months until there's a little more clarity in this situation, or I would start browsing somewhere else.